I just came across a situation where I made a mistake on an international package, and I don't want you to make the same mistake either. So I'm going to tell you about it on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and this morning I was finishing up my few items that sold overnight, and I came across someone who bought, I was selling these lip balms in a 5-pack, and I had 2 of them up for sale. So they bought 10 lip balms from me, and they happened to be overseas. You have a lot of people overseas that may not be able to find a certain brand where they're at, and so they come to eBay US and they find the item they're looking for. They paid almost like $60. That was, I think they paid me $25. That was like $12.99 each or whatever it was for each 5-pack, and so it's about $26. The rest of it is just VAT, that's value added tax, and shipping. So I paused for a minute. Now I ship right now the lighter items, anything under a pound. I just go to Pirate Ship because they may have spent like 18, 19, $20 for Pirate Ship, and I think it's like 10, 11, $12, and I think this was like $12 to ship this to they're in Norway. Okay, and it got me to think of a situation that occurred a couple months ago, and I've always wondered how I could have avoided the situation that I encountered, and I'm going to talk to you about that today. And after doing some research, looking through Pirate Ship's policies and best practices, found my answer. So that's why I'm making the video for you today. Chances are you're never going to encounter this, especially if you don't have international shipping set up. If you do have international shipping set up, especially if you ship through a third-party service like Pirate Ship, and I'm assuming if there's another third-party service that you ship internationally, your eBay packages, your Mercari packages, well, I don't know about Mercari, but maybe if you have an Amazon package, whatever it is, and you use Pirate Ship to ship that item internationally, well, you need to watch this video. Now, I knew nothing about this. Now, if you look at this address, it has a VOEC number, and then underneath it, it said code paid. And, I see this once in a while, and I really don't take account as to what it is. So, I just run the label and I move on. And in many of the patches and stuff I've sold on my other account internationally, I just, paste it and actually import the label is what I do from eBay over to Pirate Ship, and then it just takes all that information and inserts it into the address, and I fill out the customs, the information that I believe I'm required to fill out, and I just mail out the packages. So that's what I was about to do today, but I decided to say, wait, hold on real quick. Maybe I can find the answer to the problem that I encountered months ago by just looking at this particular situation, because it showed that the buyer was paying like $15 in VAT fees to eBay, and it got me to wonder, wait, if the buyer's paying the VAT to eBay and I go outside of eBay to ship this package by way of Pirate Ship, how is, in this case, Norway or whatever country I'm sending it to, how are they supposed to know that this VAT has been paid for? Because I'm not holding on to the VAT fees. I mean, eBay's holding on to the VAT fees. So it caused me to do a little investigation. Now, if you look at, it's all about the customs form, and it's not enough to just for the buyer to put that in their address. Now, it's a good thing they're putting it in their address so that you have that information, but it's not enough in all cases. Now, in most cases, it is. It just works out that way. You have people who will see it in the address field and will see that it's been paid, and they'll just deliver the package without charging the buyer a second time. And that's kind of what's happening. In some cases, buyers are being charged a second time because we don't have the proper information placed in our customs forms when we're shipping these items. Now, if you look over here, you'll see that eBay, on their customs form, there is no place to put this. It could be either a VOECC number, it could be a HMRC for UK, and it could be an IOSS for the rest of the European Union, okay? And there's no place to put it here. because eBay has already collected that information as part of the VAT collection process, and it's no longer needed. They're going to make sure that that information is passed on as part of that label you're paying for through eBay labels, okay? But if you go out to a third-party site, now you have to make sure that the buyer's VAT information, that number, is recorded properly in the customs form. As you can see here on Pirate Ship, if you look to the very bottom of the customs form, you'll see at the bottom it'll ask you for an exporter international tax ID number. And I never knew what that was, and that meant nothing to me. But I clicked on the Learn More link, and if you look at the policy, it'll say which countries have systems like this. The EU calls their VAT prepayment system the Import One-Stop Shop, IOSS, and it's looking for an IOSS number in the tax ID field. This system only applies to shipments that are worth 150 euros or less. Now in the UK, they have an HMRC number, and that means Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. Side note, I'm just kind of wondering what they're doing right now with Elizabeth passing away. How's that going to work out with Charles? Is he going to change it? I don't know. Just my random thought for the day. Then Norway has a VAT prepayment system called VOEC. Okay, that's the VAT on e-commerce is what that means. That's what the acronym stands for. So you'll notice that customers will have this information in their address, and a lot of them will put paid underneath. Now, according to Pirate Ship, they say this is optional. This is where you'll put an IOSS, HMRC, VOEC number if you have one. You only want to include this tax ID in your customs form if you're shipping an order to an international customer and that country's sales tax or VAT was prepaid when you made the sale. Okay, now it's prepaid through eBay. Some countries, like all the countries in the EU, require international online marketplaces like eBay, Etsy, Amazon to automatically collect and prepay any VAT taxes that your customer owes their country for the sale. Most countries have thresholds for this, and we're not going to kind of go into it. But what I'm trying to say is all this time I've been shipping these patches, these other items that buyers have been buying from me through Pirate Ship, and it saves you money when you buy your labels through Pirate Ship. Made a video on that not too long ago. But I've been failing to put that information in. Now, I contacted Archie about this today, and he sells a lot of stuff internationally, and we kind of had a back and forth about it because he's like, well, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to continue doing what I do. And this message isn't to say, you know, you bad, me good, because I'm learning as well. It's about, look, I learned this. Maybe you guys would want to know this. I want to do it the right way. So I don't want to encounter any situations, because I did come across a situation where I shipped this patch. It was like 30 bucks. I shipped it to Ireland. It was a collector's patch. And I had sold some items to this guy before. Now, I never knew about this, and I don't know if maybe the right customs agent in Ireland came across this and decided that they were going to charge him a second VAT, because that's what happened. eBay charged him a value-added tax, and then because I didn't include that number that he provided to me, clearly right here he provided me an IOSS number, it wasn't provided on the customs form, and that particular agent decided that he had to pay again. Well, he was like, no, I'm not paying again, and he decided to do a return to sender. Now, me being used to being protected by eBay whenever someone does a refusal to receive the package and does a return to sender, of course, he opened an item not received, and I thought I was home free. You know, I didn't know if I was going to get this thing back. I still haven't received this thing back. According to the tracking number, it says it has to be returned to sender because the buyer refused to pay the second VAT, right? Or in their eyes, the first VAT. But he, in his mind, it's the second VAT, of course, because he's already paid eBay. So I put the tracking number in to dispute the case. I appeal the case utilizing the tracking number information that of course, eBay already had, but I provided them again. And a few days later, they closed the case in the buyer's favor. So the buyer got the refund, and who knows where this patch is. It's somewhere in the ether somewhere, and chances are I'll never see it again. And it could have been all avoided if I just made a point to put the IOSS number in that field, okay, that Explorer International field that pirate ship is asking you to put a value in. Now again, if you're shipping to Australia, shipping to Asia, Africa, around the world, that's not even necessary. You don't need to put anything in that field. But there's a lot of changes coming down with the EU, okay, and how they're handling the shipments from the US and other countries. And you just got to pay attention to this, because see, while it may not, your buyer may not ever contact you, they may pay the second VAT again because they want that item, okay? It's not worth them going through all this hassle. Just like in many cases in your life, you figure there are some things that are just not worth your time, and if it's going to be another 10 bucks, you're not going to like it, but you're just going to pay the other 10 bucks. And that's why when we, like myself, we fail to put that value in there, they might be getting charged a second VAT, right? And it's going to create a bad buying experience for the buyer. Buyer may not ever say anything to you. This particular buyer was ballistic. They went off on me, and I had no idea what I did wrong until I did some investigation today, just out of curiosity, thinking that, wait, something's not right here. And you know what? I'm glad I did, because I learned about it. Hopefully you can learn about it. The bottom line is, if you're using pirate ship or a third-party shipping service, okay, and it's an international shipment to any one of these EU countries, look for the address, the IOSS number, okay, the HMRC number for UK, or the VOEC number for Norway, and make sure you're just copy and pasting that number value in that bottom box in the pirate ship customs form. You don't have to do it for eBay. Again, that's already being handled behind the scenes on your behalf. And if you do that, you're going to help your buyer not deal with the hassle. And look, I know for me, it's like, I know I wouldn't want to be bothered with that kind of a situation. I would be annoyed. I'd pay it and I'd just move on. I don't know if I'd want to be bothered and bogged down with calling eBay as a buyer. I know as a seller I do all the time, but as a buyer, it's kind of a foreign thing. They don't want to have to deal with it. And so, like with anything in life, you just take your lumps and you move on, and maybe learn from that experience. Maybe not buy from that person again. This person's never bought from me again, the one that had a problem. And you know what? Shame on me for not knowing, right? So that's why I make these videos, so that I can share my experiences. You know, I don't plan on everyone watching this video to benefit from this, but you never know. You may have something that's going to come up where you ship internationally. Now, we don't know what this new eBay system is going to look like, the new eBay International Standard Shipping Service that's going to replace the global shipping program. It may be that a lot of you who've avoided using the global shipping program before because the cost to your buyer is too high for that shipping label, have gravitated over to pirate ship, and now maybe you're going to gravitate back to this new program, so you'll never have to dealing with pirate ship again. That's my hope for myself. But if it doesn't show me the benefits that I think it's going to show, then I'm going to go back and continue to use pirate ship, and I need to know this information. So now that I know, I'll know to look for it, and I won't have any surprises with an upset buyer. What do you guys think? Comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. While you're at it, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button, and of course that notification bell's there, so if you want to be informed of my next video or when I go live, that will put it right in your feed, and you'll be notified when that happens. So little things like this on how you handle international packages, it may seem like a one-off, but yet it's just another example of how flipping ain't easy, and the sign ain't here, so I'm sorry, it's in the other room, so I'm not going to go get it. And I'm going to see you guys here very soon, and have a great rest of your week.